Hello everyone, welcome to Exam Insight. My name is Elsa and I've come up with an interesting yet confusing topic, that is modal verbs. Students usually understand main verbs pretty easily, but modal verbs is a bit confusing. The reason being, various modal verbs are used for a single purpose. What I mean to say is, if I talk about possibility, a purpose called possibility, can, could, may, might, ought to, these many modal verbs can be used for a single purpose, that is possibility. So this brings up the confusion. So to get rid of this confusion, I've come up with this topic especially. So let's begin with the topic. Before beginning, let me tell you that first I'll be discussing some rules. There are only 4 rules that should be kept in mind while using modal verbs. Then we'll go on to the usages of it. First is, modal verbs are always used as auxiliary or helping verbs, meaning it cannot be used as a main verb. For example, I can a house. Can is a modal verb. I can a house. Does this sentence even give a meaning? So this is what it means, like modal verbs cannot be used as an auxiliary or helping verb. Same way, if I insert a main verb into it, now it gives a meaning. I can rent a house, I can buy a house, I can renovate a house. When I added some main verbs like rent, buy or renovate, now it gives a complete meaning. Overall, I wanted to say that modal verbs are used as helping verbs, not as main verbs. Second rule says, modal verbs are followed by the base form of the verb. I hope you know the meaning of the base form. Base form means the first form of the verb. For example, I can play. Can is a modal verb. It is followed by first form of the verb. That is play, played, played, playing, plays. These are the 5 forms, as you know, as I've explained in the class very clearly. So this is the first form. You can see can is followed by the first form. Should is followed by the first form of the verb dance. May is followed by the first form of the verb, that is pass. Third rule is that modal verbs should be used as they are, meaning we cannot change the modal verb as per the tense or the person. It should be used as they are. For example, pray is a main verb. We can change its form to prayed, praying, praise. We can change the form because it is a main verb. Similarly, when I use musted, musting, must for must, it becomes incorrect. Reason being, must is a modal verb. So we cannot change the form of any modal verb. We have to use as they are. Fourth rule and the last rule is, modal verbs do not take any additional auxiliaries like do. You may know that auxiliaries are further divided into 2, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries include is, am, are, was, were, do, does, did, has, have, had. These all comes under primary auxiliaries, and modal auxiliaries is what I am teaching today. So when we want to ask a question or we want to form a negative sentence, we do not add any additional auxiliaries to it. For example, can you sing? This is a correct sentence. Can you sing? We didn't add any other modal verbs or any other auxiliaries to it. But when I say, do you can sing, that becomes an incorrect sentence. Next is, you must not drink. This is the interrogative part. Now comes the negative part. You must not drink and drive. That is a correct sentence. We did not add any of the auxiliaries to it. He cannot run. That is also correct. But when I say, he don't can run, that becomes incorrect. Moral of the story, that you don't have to add any other auxiliaries to ask a question or to form a negative sentence. These are the 4 rules you have to keep in mind when you are using modal verbs. Let's get on to the usages of modal verbs. Mostly 90% modal verbs are used to convey the following: ability, possibility, advice, permission, obligation, or hypothetical or conditional or situational sentences, we use modal verbs. One thing, let me tell you guys, that what I am teaching here is 99% accurate. 1% you can find other usages also, because the thoughts of grammarians vary. So that depends upon the grammarians of what all usages they have made. What I am teaching today is 99% accurate, and I am talking from the point of view of examination. You need not do everything that is mentioned in grammar, but you will have to do everything that is important from the point of view of examination. So let's start. First is shall. First we'll look at the modal verb shall. Obviously, we have been taught from our school days that shall and will are used for future. So first usage is for future. I shall call you tomorrow. It's something showing about the future tense. So shall is used in future. Next usage is when shall is used with I and we. I and we, you know, these are pronouns. I and we, when shall is used with I and we, it is normal. But when we use with you, he, she, or else, I'll say any other pronoun other than I or we. When we use shall with any other pronouns other than I or we, it becomes a compulsion or an obligation. For example, let's take the same example, that is, I shall call you tomorrow. That's a normal sentence. I may or may not call you. That depends upon me. But when I say he shall call me tomorrow, that becomes an obligation to that person that he should be calling me tomorrow. So that's the basic difference. Next is for suggestion. Shall we go to the cinema? That is a suggestion made to someone. There we can use shall. Next is to predict some future events. It can be related to the first point. Future events, if we want to talk about something in future, we can always use shall. That is, the train shall arrive at 7 p.m. It is something I'm predicting that I'm not sure, but still I'm predicting something in the future. That time also we can use the modal verb shall. So these are the basic usages of shall. Next we'll be looking at is will. Will is also used for future. I will call you tomorrow, call you tonight. It's something I'm talking about in the future. Next is same here. We'll look at when we use will with I and we, it shows determination, that I will work hard. That shows determination in a person. Same thing when will is used with any other pronoun other than I or we, it is normal. Same sentence can I take? I will call you tonight, that I am definitely going to call you tonight. That is what I mean when I say I will call you tonight. But when I say he will call you tonight, that is a normal sentence. He may or may not call you. I hope you understood the basic difference between the two. Next usage is to predict future events. Obviously, will can also be used in future events. I'm sure he'll be a successful lawyer one day. It's predicting something in future. Next is to make promises, offers, requests, and threats. For example, I'll help you with your homework. Here, I am giving a promise to someone that I will help you with your homework. I am giving a promise to someone. There we can use will. Next is I look after the dog for you if you allow. That is, if you want, I can do it. That's an offer I am giving to someone, that if you want, you can, otherwise no problem. That is an offer. That time also we can use will. Next is for request. Will you tell Sammy I called? That is a request made to someone. That time we can use will. Next is threat. If you cheat again, I'll complain. That is a threat given to someone. Threat का मतलब है धमकी. धमकी देते वक्त भी हम use कर सकते हैं will. Okay, these are the basic uses of will. Next we'll be looking at should. Obviously it is a past tense of shall. Next is duty or obligation. You should have been more careful. When I am telling to someone that it's your duty to do it, I can use should. That is, you should love your country. That is your obligation, or that is your duty, that you should love your country. Next is advice or suggestion. When giving advice or suggestion to someone, we can use modal verb should. That is, you should try to lose weight. That's an advice or suggestion given to someone. Next is expected but didn't happen. Means something was expected to happen but did not. That time also we could use should. The sentence is the bus should have arrived by now. It was expected to arrive but it did not arrive. So that time we can use should. Next usage is with lest. This is important to know. With the word lest, you always use the modal verb should. You either use should or no modal verbs at all. But please remember, with lest, you should be always using should. Lest meaning otherwise. Lest means otherwise. Whenever you see the word lest, you can use should. You have to use should. Next usage. Next modal verb is would, past tense of will. Next is past habit. When I have to show something that I used to do earlier, that time we can use would. For example, when I was younger, I would visit my grandparents every summer. That is a thing which I used to do when I was young. In the past habit, it is showing something in the past. Polite request, would you open the door please? That is a polite request made to someone. Difference between request and polite request, if you understand, you'll understand it better. When we request somebody, we can request our friends also, but polite request is made to someone elder to us or someone respectful, which we consider respectful. So polite request, we use would. Would you close the door? Would you please bring a cup of tea for me? Would you? When we use would, it becomes a polite request. Next is preference. I would choose the blue dress over the red one. That's showing preference. Preference means I'm choosing one over the other. That time we can use would. Next is suggestion or advice. When we have to give an advice or suggestion, we use the modal verb would. That is, why don't you try yoga? It would help you relax. It would help you relax. That's a suggestion given to someone. So there also we can use the modal verb would. Next is conditional sentence. Yes, this is pretty much important to remember. In conditional sentence, we use the modal verb would. For example, if it rained yesterday, Neha would stay at home. It is a conditional sentence. Conditional sentence means a sentence showing condition. If it rained yesterday means if it rained. If shows condition. अगर ये होता तो नेहा रहती. So conditional sentence shows condition, simple to remember. There we can use would. Next modal verb is can. Can shows ability. First of all, can, I can do it. When someone says, it shows their ability, they are able to do that. He can teach Chinese means he is able to teach Chinese. That shows his ability. Next is for possibility. You can earn a lot of money in gaming. That is a possibility you can earn. Next is for permission. It is used to give permission or to take permission. Both ways we can use can. You can use my car. Here it is to, I am giving permission to someone that you can do it. That is giving permission. Can I drink some water? That is also a permission taking from someone. But remember, can and may is also used for permission, but can is informal and may is more formal. Next is offer. Can I help you lift that? When we offer to do something for someone, we can use can. Can I help you lift that? Can I help you with that? So that there also we can use can. Next modal verb is could, past tense of can. Past ability. Can shows ability, so could is a past of can. So past ability can also be showed with could. I could run 10 miles in my 20s. It is my past ability. Now I cannot do it, but in my 20s I could do it. That is showing some past ability. Next is polite request. You remember would is also used for polite request. Could I borrow your jacket? That shows a polite request. I'm requesting to someone. Next is for suggestion. You could have spent your vacation in Manali. That is a suggestion given to someone. You could have done that. That is a suggestion. So could is also used in suggestion. Next is for possibility. John could be the one who stole the money. That is a possibility. Possibility can also be used with could. Next is may. Permission, just now as I said, can and may can be used for permission. Simple example, when I say can I come in, may I come in, what is the basic difference? Can I come in, when we are speaking to a teacher, that becomes incorrect because that is not polite at all. Can be used among your colleagues or friends, that is correct, but to an elderly person it is more formal to use may. May I come in is absolutely correct. Next is possibility. She may come, possibility. She may or may not. So it is showing some possibility. Next is purpose. We eat that we may live. That is showing the purpose of life. Next is optative sentences, where blessing, curses, these all things come. That sentences are called as optative sentence. For example, may God bless you. When we bless someone, we use the word may. May God bless you. May you live long. These are blessings, but when I talk of a curse, may you rot in hell. That is a curse given to someone. There also we use may. Next is might, past tense of may. Remote possibility. What do you mean by remote possibility? Come possibility hai, a very less possibility. That is what is called remote possibility. It might rain, it may rain. What is the difference? It may rain, it means you have 50 to 70% chances that it can rain. It may rain. But when I say it might rain, it denotes only 20 to 30% possibility that it might rain. So that's the only difference. Both shows possibility, but may shows more possibility and might shows less possibility. That's the only difference here. Next is for permission. Might I use your phone? This is rarely used in modern world, but it can also be used for permission. Nobody in this era uses this kind of sentences that might I come in, might I use your phone. These are all considered as old techniques. Next is past possibility. I might have left my umbrella in the bus. It is a past possibility. It is showing something in the past and possibility with it. So might can be used past possibility as well. Next is must. Must shows emphasize necessity. Obviously must, you must do it. That is, I am telling you that it is necessary to do it. Students must pass the examination. That is showing an obligation or a compulsion to them that you should be doing it. You must be passing the exam. Next is duty or obligation. We must protect our environment. We must love our country. That is our duty. That is a obligation. Next is strong recommendation. You must take some medicine for that fever. That is a strong recommendation. Recommendation is different. Strong recommendation is bit different. Next is certainty. This must be the right place. I'm certain that this is the place. I'm sure that this is the right place. So for certainty also we use must. Next is ought to. Ought to is used for duty. We ought to respect the flag of our country. That is our duty. We should be doing it. So we can use ought to in this scenario. Advice. You ought to quit drinking. That is advice given to someone. Next is strong possibility. She ought to be back by 11 o'clock. That is a strong possibility. She should be coming. Next is worthiness. Julie ought to get the promotion means he or she deserves the chance, therefore he oughts to get the promotion. Julie ought to get the promotion means she deserves to. Next is used to. Used to has only one purpose, that is past habit or state. What I mean to say is they used to live in India. This is not any habit of someone. This is a particular state or a condition that they were living in India long ago. They used to live in India. So that's showing a past state. Next is I'm used to getting up early, so I don't mind doing it. Last sentence, don't worry if your new job is hard at first, you'll get used to it. This shows past habit. Used to is used when we have to show some past habit or past state or condition. Let's move on to the next, that is dare. Dare and need to, let me tell you, these are semi-modals. Why they are called semi-modals? Because it can be used as a helping verb and as a main verb. This is the main reason they are called semi-modals. We'll understand it better. I told you it is used as a main verb and as an auxiliary verb. When dare is used as a main verb, it takes to after it. When it is used as an auxiliary verb, it doesn't take to after it. You will not understand it. Let's look at some examples. Before that, dare as a main verb can be used in positive, negative and interrogative sentences, but dare as an auxiliary verb can only be used in negative and interrogative sentences, not in positive sentences. We'll understand it better by examples. He dares to go there. He does not dare to go there. Does he dare to go there? In all these sentences, dare is used as a main verb. You can see, obviously, as I said, modal verbs do not change their forms. You can see here, dare became dares, means it has changed its form. It is used as a main verb. This is one technique how you can identify it as main verb or auxiliary verb. Dare became dares, that means it changed its form, that means it is a main verb. Main verb always take to after it. First sentence is clear, he dares to go there. He does not dare to go there. Negative sentence, he does not dare to go there. Dare is used as a main verb. Does here, it is an auxiliary verb. Dare is a main verb here and hence it took to after it. Third sentence, does he dare to go there? Interrogative sentence. Here, does is an auxiliary verb, dare is a main verb and hence it took to after it. Similarly, auxiliary verb, I dare not press the button. How dare she talk to me like that? I dare not press the button, that is a negative sentence and it is used as an auxiliary verb and hence it didn't take to after it. Next is, how dare she talk to me like that? That is an interrogative sentence and dare is used as an auxiliary verb and therefore it didn't take to after it. Here comes the biggest confusion, like how can we identify whether dare is used as a main verb or as a helping verb? There comes the confusion. Next, I'm going to talk about need. These two semi-modals creates the whole confusion. So let's try to understand. First thing I said, how to identify if it is a main verb or an auxiliary verb by looking if they change their form, that means it is a main verb, because only main verbs change their forms, auxiliary verb do not change. So first technique is that you can identify that way. Second technique is you can understand it this way. Main verb has to come in a sentence. As I've told, without a verb, a sentence cannot be formed. A sentence is impossible in English language without a verb. So main verb has to come in a sentence. If main verb is not there, auxiliary verb is considered to be the main verb, but main verb should be there in a sentence. First sentence, that's the technique, changing the form, therefore it is a main verb. First sentence, I am not explaining. Second sentence, how did I identify that there is a main verb? Listen to me carefully. Can I see any other auxiliaries before dare? The answer is yes, I can see does. Do, does, did is also an auxiliary, primary auxiliaries. It came before the word dare, therefore it does is considered as an auxiliary verb here and dare is considered as a main verb here. Similarly, third sentence, can I find some other auxiliaries before the word? I can find, that is does, therefore dare became the main verb. Looking onto the auxiliary verb, dare, before the word dare, can I see any other auxiliaries? The answer is no, therefore dare became the auxiliary verb. Dare became the auxiliary verb in the sentence. Second sentence, before dare, can I see some other auxiliaries? The answer is no. Therefore, dare here also in this sentence, dare became the auxiliary verb. Main verb here is press and here is talk. So I hope maybe now you'll be able to identify whether the word dare in a sentence is used as a main verb or an auxiliary verb. Moving on to the next similar semi-modal, that is need. Same thing, it is used as a main verb and as an auxiliary verb, and hence it is called semi-modal. Same thing, if we use as a main verb, it should take to with it. If we use as an auxiliary verb, it should not take to with it. Positive, negative, interrogative sentences, it is used as a main verb, but only negative and interrogative sentences, it is used as an auxiliary verb. Examples, he needs to come. First sentence, it changed its form, therefore I can understand that it is a main verb. Second sentence, he does not need to come. Before need, I found another auxiliary, so that became my auxiliary verb and need became my main verb in the sentence. Similarly, in the third sentence, before need, I found an auxiliary, so that became the auxiliary verb and this became the main verb. And auxiliary verb, he need not come. Here I cannot see any other auxiliaries before need, therefore I need to consider need as the auxiliary verb. Same thing, before need nothing is there, so need is considered to be an auxiliary verb. So I hope maybe you can have a confusion now, but through the method I said, I don't think you'll have a confusion further. So let's look on to the questions, some of the questions to it. Time to test yourself. Those who are watching it, I request you to pause the video and try solving these on your own and come back for the answers. I hope it's done. Let's look on to the answers of it. She need not to talk to him. She need not talk to him. I can see need here. Before need, I cannot see any other auxiliaries, so I consider this as an auxiliary verb, and as I said, need doesn't take to after it, so to will be wrong here. She need not talk to him is the correct sentence. Next sentence, I can see needs has changed its form, so that is a main verb here. It is acting as a main verb here. So main verb needs to take to is already here. The sentence is absolutely correct. Third is, dare you to oppose your father. I can see the verb dare. I cannot see any other auxiliaries before dare. That means dare is used as an auxiliary verb, and auxiliary verb dare do not take to with it. Next is, I can't believe he dared to stand up to the boss. I can't believe. Can't, cannot. The negative form of can is cannot. So can is also an auxiliary verb. So I can find some auxiliary verbs before it. So dare became the main verb, and obviously dare changed its form. In that way also I can understand that it is a main verb. Main verb took to, so the sentence is absolutely correct. I can't believe he dared to stand up to the boss. Last sentence, a country needs some good leaders. Now I cannot get it whether it is a main verb or an auxiliary verb, but if you have a little knowledge about subject verb agreement, you can easily relate to it. Our country, here the subject is country, our is an adjective, as you know. Country is a noun, so it is a subject. Subject should agree with the verb. Country is considered as singular. Singular noun should take singular verb. Singular verb, you know that it is needs. Our country needs some good leaders will be correct. Comment how many you got wrong and how much % you understood this topic. So that brings us to the end of the session. I hope you found this session useful. I would be glad if you comment me how far you understood this topic. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Till then, bye. Take care.